10:30, I'm Olivia Vidal.
And I'm Rob Krieger. All eyes are turning to the tropics as we could see some development later this week in the Gulf. Let's get over now to meteorologist Hannah Gard with your forecast. Hey, Hannah.
Hey guys, we're giving you the first alert for the impacts that we could see later in the week from this disturbance that we're tracking right now. This is Invest 93L. It's on the Atlantic side of the Florida Peninsula, but it's starting to push inland. We're seeing some heavy rain in areas like Daytona Beach over toward Orlando, and that's from this big bulk of thunderstorm activity that is spinning inland right now. 30-mile-per-hour sustained winds. It's still not a tropical depression here, but we are going to expect this to move across the Florida Peninsula, and that land interaction should keep it from developing until it really gets into the Gulf over those warmer waters. But I did want to point out something interesting on visible satellite. You see all the thunderstorm activity down here, but we do have this circulation that is just up to the north of it on the surface. There's a little surface low. It could try to pull back into this storm activity that's happening down to the south, but it does look like it's a little bit farther north than the mid-level circulation, which is down here closer to Orlando. Then we're seeing storm activity offshore from us right now. It's getting pulled into the upper level low that's spinning over here to our east, and that's why you're seeing that motion down to the southeast offshore from our area. They are going to send the hurricane hunters out there at 11 o'clock. So over the next hour, and they'll go investigate what is going on with this disturbance. Right now, we'll have some more information as they do so. Here's that outlook from the National Hurricane Center. We have a medium chance of tropical development for the area in orange. So as it travels over the peninsula, the question will be how far north does this hug along the coastline? If there's a lot of land interaction, it's going to be really hard for this to become stronger than a tropical depression. If it takes a more southerly track and is over the warmer waters for longer, we could potentially see a tropical storm form, a weak one, but that name would be Dexter. If it's a tropical depression, it will not get a name, but the impacts could be the same because we will be watching for very heavy rainfall, potentially coming just to the south of us and then moving inland over Louisiana. Now there's some of the modeling that's showing a more inland track over to the east, but the most consistent modeling has been along the coastal areas of Louisiana for the path of this system. So here's what we know right now. Gulf storm chances are increasing. It's becoming more consensus from the modeling on that happening. The track towards Louisiana is the most likely, and we're mainly concerned about the rain impacts for now because with a weaker system, even if it's unnamed, we could see some really heavy rains that would lead to flooding that we have to watch for in the later parts of the week. So make sure you're staying tuned to the weather. Obviously, forecasts could still change. We're 3 days out from when we could see some impacts, but we might start seeing some of that moisture increasing even by tomorrow. Again, if we do see a named storm, the next name on the list is Dexter. Here's the flood risk. The flood risk really starts on Thursday. And you can see that it's mainly the South Shore areas and then areas up to just north of the lake that we have that level 2 out of 4 risk for flooding on Thursday. Friday is when we get an expansive level 2 out of 4 flooding risk. And then over toward Baton Rouge, coastal areas, you're getting that level 3 out of 4 risk for flooding. And it does look like they just put out a flood watch for some areas, maybe starting tomorrow. So tropical impacts, that flood risk, the greatest risk. But where will the wet side of the storm be? If it is a very messy and lopsided storm, we'll have to pinpoint which side will get the most moisture, and that will determine where the heaviest rain will be. And then the timing for that, Wednesday afternoon, we start to see storms tomorrow, and then Thursday, Friday, we get the real storm impact. Looking at the rain potential, you can see this big bullseye of over 10 inches possible right offshore there. So somebody could see some pretty measurable amounts of rain that will cause that significant flood threat. But bullseye for us on the rain potential Thursday, Friday, giving you the first alert for both of those days. That'll be the highest impact. We could see some lingering rain into the weekend as well with those storm chances staying higher. There's that flood watch just got put out for our whole area, including southern Mississippi. We're already seeing some showers and storms offshore today. It's actually going to be pretty dry today, so that's likely for tomorrow that they're putting that out for, and you can see why when we play this out. Today's dry. Tomorrow we start to get that tropical moisture coming in, especially with that northerly flow as we get into the impacts from that system. So we'll have to watch for that heavy rain as we go throughout the rest of the week. So guys, giving you the first alert, mainly pinpointing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We could see impacts as early as tomorrow evening, and then we'll be watching that through the rest of the work week.
All right, something to keep our eye on.
Yeah, keep a close eye on that. Thank you, Hannah.
Of course.